Hi, my name is Eiley, and today I'm going to be talking about how modern climate change is anthropogenic and can no longer be explained by natural or scientific processes. Earth's current warming period has been permanently altered due to human activity, and as explained in How Early Signs of Climate Change Date Back to the Industrial Revolution by Becky Little, the beginning of the Industrial Revolution marked a turning point in climate and humanity. This period experienced an unprecedented rate of growth in human development and activity, both of which permanently altered the atmosphere, and we have continued this pattern of unsustainability today. This unnatural period of warming is referred to as the Anthropocene, and the US EPA states that this period cannot be explained by natural environmental causes. Many influential people make claims that either that climate change is not happening or it is a natural cycle of things. Both of these claims are false, but they garner great attention. For example, Inside Climate News by Christopher Teague states that the 8 p.m. primetime slot is held by a climate change denier who receives over 200,000 viewers. It is insurmountably important to debunk these false claims and encourage proper research on climate change. Ultimately, modern climate change is not natural, and this can be proved through the study of Milankovitch cycles, greenhouse gas emissions, and human development or activity. Alan Buis, writing from NASA and Milankovitch orbital cycles and their role in Earth's climate, states that Milankovitch cycles are natural cycles of Earth that have historically coincided with warming and cooling periods, but they can no longer explain the current rate of warming that Earth is experiencing. Milankovitch cycles include calculations of the shape of Earth's orbit, known as eccentricity, Earth's axis tilt, known as obliquity, and the direction the Earth's axis is pointed, known as precession. These three things affect the amount of solar radiation that the Earth can receive, meaning that they can account for current or certain warming periods that Earth has experienced. Buis writes that despite the fact that these cycles have historically lined up with warming periods, it cannot account for the current warming period that Earth is in. This is because Milankovitch cycles span over tens of thousands to hundreds of thousand years, and the current warming period that Earth is in has only spanned centuries. Buis continues on to say that using climate proxies, which allow researchers to take indirect measurements of past climate history, show proof that Milankovitch cycles have lined up with warming periods in the past. But to reiterate, the current rate of warming that the planet is experiencing cannot be explained by Milankovitch cycles because of how fast it is occurring, which started with the Industrial Revolution in the 1760s. And for example, eccentricity changes over every 100,000 years, obliquity every 41,000 years, and precession every 23,000 years. Modern climate change is also exacerbated through human activity with greenhouse gas emissions. Many proponents of natural climate change argue that greenhouse gas emissions are natural cycles of Earth, while this is somewhat true, like Milankovitch cycles, the current rate of emission does not line up with what natural cycles would look like. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, in the article Carbon Dioxide is Now More Than 50% Higher Than Pre-Industrial Levels, states that humans are amplifying greenhouse gas emissions. This means we are amplifying heat-trapping gases, which makes the Earth warmer. This amplification can occur through the burning of fossil fuels, amongst many other things, which all do not occur at natural rates that we are experiencing now. And since the Industrial Revolution, humans have generated an estimated 1.5 trillion tons of CO2 pollution. According to NOAA, in other mathematical terms, global average atmospheric carbon dioxide was 417 parts per million in 2022. But prior to the Industrial Revolution, CO2 parts per million were around 280. That's almost a 50% increase. So, the rate at which greenhouse gases are emitted cannot be naturally caused. The EPA explains in Overview of Greenhouse Gas Emissions that since the Industrial Revolution, human activity has inflated the natural rate of the natural rate that greenhouse gases are emitted, which has exacerbated climate change. Would climate change happen without humans by Andrew Kosofsky states it plainly: without human activity, Earth's current warming period would not be as disastrous as it is today. Unlike Milankovitch cycles and greenhouse gases, which are natural factors that can influence global warming, human development has had an unnatural and concrete negative effect on global warming. Since the Industrial Revolution, humans and their inventions have multiplied exponentially, with essentially no regard for the environment and our impact on the environment. While the Industrial Revolution was an incredible time for technological and human advancements, that period saw an uptick in the use of unsustainable fuel, with coal burning, deforestation, and general ecocide to support the population. In the article, How Early Signs of Climate Change Date Back to the Industrial Revolution, it states that the Industrial Revolution is directly correlated with the beginning of anthropogenic climate change. Currently, humans continue to pursue a pattern of unsustainability through ecocide, which is the destruction of natural land, fast fashion, the burning of fossil fuels, and several other things, all which heavily contribute to anthropogenic climate change. These things would not be happening at the rate they are without human development. As Little claims, the Industrial Revolution, and therefore human development, is directly correlated with the beginning of anthropogenic climate change. While there are many natural aspects to climate change as supported by climate change deniers, the current period of climate change that we are experiencing cannot be explained by natural cycles. This is supported by the study of Milankovitch cycles, greenhouse gas emissions, and human development or activity. This period is called the Anthropocene. And while climate change is a polarizing issue, it is happening and it is caused by human activity. The rate of warming that the planet is experiencing is unnatural and it is very rapid, but it is possible to slow it down. Through personal awareness and decision-making regarding clothing, which would be fast fashion, and food decisions, it is possible to make a local impact. Individually, we can make a difference by reducing our carbon footprint, by taking the bus, carpooling, riding a bike, or walking. We can also support eco-friendly businesses and spread awareness about the urgent need for change. We also need systemic change on a global scale. So while we can take personal action, it is important to hold corporations and governments accountable for their environmental impact and demand ambitious climate action plans.